The science behind this assessment poses 3 points, which are part of what's called the assessment triangle. The most important one, of course, is the knowledge that is going to be evaluated and assessed, and it needs to be delineated and conceptualized very carefully. So that's the starting point for any kind of assessment, of course. And then you have to design the observation tools. How do you know that cognition, the knowledge, has been learned and retained and can be reproduced? So they are the kinds of item-based tests or any other kind of test that you produce where you can observe the learner manifestly exhibiting knowledge and understanding of the cognition that they were supposed to absorb or create or become part of their understanding. And then, of course, the other part, which is really important, and Bill just spoke earlier about the issue of reliability and validity, is the interpretation. How do you interpret the tools that you have designed in order to evaluate cognition? And of course that creates, a number of different ways in which you try to maximize those involved or the manner in which that interpretation links you back to cognition. The three are all related, of course, and part of the assessment triangle involves this triangulation of those three elements in a good assessment tool, or an assessment tool that provides what Bill said, validity and reliability.
Just to say this another way, the observation is the test, which is we're getting you to do the A, B, C, D answers, or we're taking the supply response assessment and we're measuring it against a rubric. The interpretation is what we then take that to mean. So in other words, what we take it to mean is by putting the score of the item-based test across the bell curve, or by situating the observed supply response item against the rubric, we are interpreting what that means. So that they're relatively straightforward things to be doing. But then when we go to cognition, we're making a huge jump, which is what we're doing is we have done a form of sampling. We have analysed the data. Sampling is observation. The data is interpretation. And we have made some inferences about cognition. Now that's actually a very big jump, because how do we know what anybody's thinking in the world? So we've got these devices called tests. We've got these measurement apparatuses called the bell curve or rubrics and so on. And what we're doing is we're then jumping to a conclusion about cognition. Again, a little bit further in this, we're going to talk about approaches to assessment which may emphasise cognition a little less. This is the consequence of really focusing on cognition, because cognition can only happen inside your head. So here's a classic piece of assessment. The students have all come along, and what does this, in a metaphorical, allegorical sort of way, say about the nature, the assumed nature of thinking? The answer is it's the assessable individual. It's not stuff you've done with your peers. It's not stuff that you're able to look up and copy and reassemble, which is what we do when we're normally making a project or writing things. We have artifacts that we've got easy access to. We can look them up and we assemble knowledge. It's what we can remember. And in fact, it's not even individual cognition which is being measured. It's actually two things. One is long-term memory. So the definition of learning that's implicit in this form of assessment is learning is long-term memory. And a second thing that it is, it's the correct application of procedures. So I've remembered the French Revolution happened in 1789 because A, B, C, D. And by the way, the other one was 1787, which you could easily get mixed up with, so we've got these distractor items and we've got it right. So that's a fact, right? The other thing I might do is I might give you a sum, 3 plus 2 equals, and the answer has to be 5, not 7. So it's the correct application of procedures. But then again, the answer must be an unequivocally right or wrong thing. So what we reduce knowledge to. And by the way, it's not to dismiss facts. It's not to dismiss procedures. They're important to us, but that's not all there is to thinking and to learning. But what we must do, what the mechanics of assessment must do, is reduce us to these things which are accessible, but those things are purely individual. There are things between your ears because you've got no book when you go in there, nothing to look up, and the procedures you've got to enact are without help of any other devices.